I was going to tell you that we were going to go to some calls on misogyny, but we're going to be going live to the farm. We're going to hear the sound of cows being milked by a farmer who's on his farm right now in southwest England, a cow and sheep farmer in Exmoor. James, hello, it's James Wright. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me on.
Do you know, I've seen cows being milked with an industrial thing that you stick on the udders, and it's beautiful, like a very big, I mean, you know all this, I'm just explaining it for other people, but your milk fills it, and it's obviously not pasteurised, and I'm told that if it's raw milk, it's extremely healthy. Am I right, James?
Well, look, pasteurisation exists to kill all the bugs in the milk, but what I'll tell you is unpasteurised milk is about the best thing you'll ever taste. But I'm a beef farmer, so the cows behind me, their calves are the ones drinking the milk. So I'm just making sure the mums have got lots of food. They can produce lots of milk for their calves.
Can we see the cows? Can you bring
if I move out the way,
your outside broadcast unit?
If I move out the way, you'll be able to see the cows. So
that's great.
We're in a barn on Exmoor. They're just having their evening dinner. Loads of silage, and it's been very wet today. So now we've got a bit of a dry moment. So I've come out to push up their silage.
Are they talking? Can we hear them go? Can we hear them?
They're pretty quiet. Once they've got some food in front of them, as you can see, they've got their heads down. So I've got about 70 cows in this shed. And once they've got the food, they go a bit quiet. But about 15 minutes ago, there was a bit of a cacophony. So
how lovely. Well, if they do pipe up for a sing-song, you know, shut me up and we'll see if we can get them live on... Do you name them, by the way?
No, the only one that's got a name on this farm is Wilfred. So Wilfred's our bull. He weighs about 1,000 kilos, and he's the only one with a name.
I'd be tempted to call some of the cows Ermintrude.
Right.
Out of Dougal. Because that was the cow, the one with the daisy in its mouth. Do you remember? You're a bit young, actually.
Oh, I know. I was born in 1992, so unfortunately you're aging me. Yeah,
oh, my God, 1992. That was yesterday. Anyway, so look, the reason why, apart from anything, thank you for coming on the show and showing us your beautiful farm in Exmoor, and you're a farmer of some scale. And that is that farmers are left fearing a really bleak future. We keep on hearing this about the taxation problems that inheritance is facing in the farming industry, and about how supermarkets don't allow farmers to make money out of their milk because the margins are so tight, and you wonder why you're making a living for like a penny a pint or even less perhaps. But then there's this review by Baroness Batters, who's a former head of the National Farmers Union, who's called for a whole new deal for this industry hit by rising costs and loss of subsidies, rising wage bills, inheritance tax reforms, which obviously the farmers are going into Westminster with their combine harvesters, and some of them with cows as well, go through supermarkets as well. I like that as a protest, one of my favourites. And a halt to multi-million-pound subsidy schemes. They've left farmers questioning the future of their businesses, a report for the government has found. And if you start attacking the farming industry, I mean, that is a genuine national security issue, isn't it?
Well, food security is national security, and a nation that can't feed itself is no nation at all. And farming it's at the moment it's at a very critical point. We've been, for the last 60 years, we've given billions of pounds for farmers for not doing a lot, right? We got money for basically looking after the countryside and keeping it looking the same. And when we left the EU, we replaced that with paying farmers to basically look after the environment. That's a good thing, right? Paying farmers for doing something that benefits us all. But Labour have stopped that. So since September, you haven't been able to apply for that. Sorry, so since the spring, you haven't been able to apply for that. So what farmers want is we want a little bit of certainty. We like producing food for the country, and we want to know that next year we'll be able to do that. But the rules keep on changing. The money that farmers were being paid for the environment has disappeared. So this review is welcome, but the elephant in the room is the family farm tax, 20% of a farm's value. And if there's a profitability problem now, what are we going to do when every generation we've got to pay 20% to the government? I really don't know.
And we all know that elephants are genetic cousins of cows. That's why you said that. Baroness Batters has stopped short of calling for an inheritance tax reversal from Sir Keir Starmer's government, but she does say that a new deal for more profitable farming is needed to recognise the true cost of producing food and, of course, protecting the environment. She's got 57 recommendations, including what she calls quick wins, obviously common sense things, such as making it easier for farmers to build reservoirs on their land and improve access to finance. Workforce shortages were the single biggest blocker to profitability for horticulture in the longer term, she says. Wage costs are up, as are rises in national insurance contributions. Obviously, this very thin line between taxation and profitability really affects critical industries like farms. Even machinery is up 31%. James, I mean, you guys are one of the biggest victims of this, you know, increase in taxation because your profitability is so tight, isn't it? Your margins are so low.
Well, yeah, I mean, wheat, I mean, I'm a beef farmer. The beef price is pretty good at the moment. But
right.
For wheat, it's the same that it was 20 years ago.
Really?
So you can imagine all the regulations, all the costs that have increased in the last 20 years. Yeah, huge. And and energy is so much of what goes into our food. So when the oil price rises, when the electricity price rises, that is impacts on our profitability, but also what you pay in the shops as well. And farmers want food, we produce food, and we want that to be readily available to the public. So what we need is that regulation to come off, that tax burden to come off, some support around the energy so that we can, you know, do what we love, which is turning grass into milk, which the calves drink, which turns into beef. That's what we want to do, right? And the arable farmers want to turn the seed they plant into the ground, into the wheat, which goes into the bread and the barley that goes into our beer. That's what we want to do. We want to be left alone to do that.
You just mentioned beer, so now I'm completely switched on, as are all our audience as well. Now, also, some of her additional recommendations, and this is related to food security, the purchase of more British food by hospitals, by the public sector, by schools and other caterers in the public sector. The government argues they're crucial to shoring up the public finances. The idea of, you know, buying a cauliflower from New Zealand is it seems immoral. It just seems crazy.
Absolutely. And, you know, British food is some of the best in the world.
Yeah.
And when people are sick in hospitals, when we've got children growing up, we want to maximise their nutrition. Why are we not buy British? And the answer is because it's produced to such high standards, it is slightly more expensive. And the civil servants say they want to, you know, save those pennies. But actually what we should do is investing in the health of the nation and buying British food. I'll give you an example. Our ration packs that we give to the military still uses beef from Brazil.
No.
Why are we not buying great British beef? And,
is it
and
price discriminative? I mean, is Brazilian beef cheaper than British beef?
Yeah, simply is. It's cheaper. They use hormones. Hormones have been banned in British farming for decades, and just makes their animals more efficient. They can produce it cheaper than we can, and you know, so no resentment to the great Brazilian farmers, but you know, we want British beef.
We want British beef. And just a quick one on things like hormones. Does it affect blokes? Does it turn you into Larry Grayson?
Well, I look, I'm not an expert, but it's been banned in the UK for a long time, and we, you know,
what a gay day.
Exactly.
Everyone knows who Larry Grayson was. All you got to do is look him up on the Generation Game. Oh, I love Larry. He made me laugh. Hey, listen, James, thank you. James Wright, you've been an excellent guest. Thank you so much. James Wright is a beef farmer in southwest England, a cow and sheep farmer to be precise, in Exmoor.